And the Senate is scheduled to vote tomorrow on whether to open the debate on President Obama's $447 billion jobs bill. The president says it will guard against a double-dip recession. Meanwhile, a grim sign today of our economic recovery. A new study shows in the 2 years since the recession officially ended, the average household income has fallen twice as fast as it did during the recession. Since June 2009, incomes are down 6.7%. Isabel Sawhill is the Director of Economic Studies at the Brookings Institution. Thank you, Isabel, for your time. What stands out most?
You're welcome. Nice to be with you.
Absolutely. What stands out most to you regarding these numbers, other than the obvious fact that it is extremely hard for families to make it right now?
Well, it is extremely hard, but I think what we need to remind people is it's been hard for quite a long time. Even before this recession began, middle-class incomes were increasing very, very little. And most of the increase was due to the fact that they were working harder. More families had two earners to bring home the bacon.
And to your point, people are working harder and they're making less. In the New York Times, when they did an analysis of these numbers, it says one of the reasons pay has stayed stagnant. Many people have lost their jobs in the recession, remained out of work for months. We know that. Also, they had to take pay cuts in order to be hired again. So to keep these jobs, even if it's a part-time, you've got to take these pay cuts or the company will dump you.
Well, I think that's right as well, that when you have very high rates of unemployment, employers are in the driver's seat. They're setting wages, and workers have very little bargaining power because so many of them are competing for the few jobs that are available. So employers can make very low wage offers, and people are forced to accept them.
Now, as I pointed out, this study was saying that these are the numbers since the official end of the recession. As you well know, there are people who say that we are in a recession and that, as in other cases, it will be some kind of official announcement far too late when you have the average person saying, you know, duh, I knew this all along. I didn't need an economist to tell me. But you have one person, Henry S. Farber, quoted. He's a Princeton economics professor, and he says, I do not think the recession has ended. What is your feeling on that statement?
Well, I think that the common sense view is right, that when you have unemployment rates around 9%, you may not be in a recession as technically defined by economists. They define it as an actual decline in GDP. But GDP is growing so slowly that we can't make any dent in the unemployment picture. And therefore, to the ordinary person, it certainly feels like a recession. And I think all of the bad news is simply accumulating now, and the government is withdrawing the money that was inserted into the economy as part of the original Recovery Act in 2009. And as that goes away and as state and local governments tighten up, we are going to see more bad news.
Yeah, well, Isabel Sawhill, thank you so much for joining us. It's a great pleasure to talk with you about these new numbers that are out. Thank you.